I then put my hands up in the air. Put them down, said my dad softly. I then put my hands down. We did not call the cops on you because we expected you to turn yourself in. And that is a gamble on our part that we lost. So we're not going to do that because it is too late now. That because you didn't turn yourself in, that is very wrong to where we think you were less of a person, said my dad. I nod. Now, what happened since the time you went out the window to now that we need to know about, my mom said. I got on the Brown Line train at Paulina to head toward the loop, and that went just fine. We know that. Move along, my dad said. I rode the Brown Line to Washington and Wells, and then I got on the Pink Line and rode it to its end at 54th and Cermak, and slept on a bench near there, and then I spent yesterday walking down Cermak Road and slept in the entryway to the Chinatown Cermak station on the Red Line, and this morning I went for a small brunch and shopped for Sam's gift in Millennium Park, I said. Did you stop in restaurants as you were walking down Cermak Road, my mom asked. A McDonald's and a restaurant in Chinatown where I began to discover my new girlfriend, Hannah, even more, I said. My parents were jolted. You got a girlfriend for the first time, my mom asked. Yes, I said. Remember, we need to approve of her, and she must convert to becoming an heiress if you want to marry her, my dad said. I know that. How did you meet her, my mom asked. She made me a new cloak and a cane in a costume shop she works at in Chinatown, I said. How did she become your girlfriend, my mom asked. She followed me by accident into the Chinese bar and grill down the street, and when she made me uncomfortable, I left and went to the Chinatown Cermak station vestibule, and she ran into me there, and also she said that she was sorry, and I began talking to her and explained to her what she did wrong, and she said she wanted to be my girlfriend because she has no friends because she has bad social anxiety, I explained to my parents. Are there any traits about her we may disapprove of, my dad asked. Does not being an heiress count, I asked. Yes, but we knew that was going to be a problem, so as long as she converts, if you marry her, that is not going to be a problem, my mom said. If I told you the age difference, between me and her is bigger than it is between, you two, will you be okay with that, I asked. Yes, as long as it is older at your age, my dad said. And you have to abstain the whole way through until you turn 18, my mom said. It is. She was born on January 1st, 1992. She is exactly 8 years older than me, I said. Exactly? Cool, said my dad. That's all we wanted to know. Thank you. Now go to your room and do not leave for a week unless we say you may, or leave or use the restroom for the hospital for running away to the streets for 2 nights, said my mom. But what about the damages to the hospital, I asked. Don't worry about it, because I lost my job so they could cover that. Though really, it was not my choice, and the hurt employees are being covered that way too, and your aunt said don't worry about it, said my mom. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you in a week. I then went to my room and began to lay down on my bed. Well, George, it looks like we are going to be cellmates for the next few days, I said. Does that mean I am going to be with you all day, every day, George asked. Yes, I answered. How long are you in for, George asked. A week. Well, I'm always here, studying the great road network of America, said Sam. Sam, You're just like me, except with me in the library, because that is where I have more opportunities for sources for things I can use to help me with my research, to help me find a cure for autism research, I said with a chuckle. I'd rather you find the cure to what is wrong with Mom first, said George. Did you just hear her scream at me? I asked. Finding a cure to what made her fall and cause her mobility issues is more important to me than what she wants, even if she doesn't want it, said George. Are you just saying that because you love her? I asked. Yeah, said George. Okay, but remember that the parent is always the one in charge, I said. Or the biggest brother in a family of brothers, even if they claim they are a different persona than my brother, said Sam, looking at me smile. I then noogie him. However, when it comes to figuring out what's up with Mom, let's just let this all blow over first, because she is plenty mad at me and George right now, I said. Good idea, said George. You do know that's not coming for a week, said Sam. I was going to give it a month and probably even longer, I said. Why that long? I want it now, George said. Because I am going to the University of Chicago in a week and a half for a shitty autism program. I probably won't have time, I explained. You really have set your mind on Loyola, said Sam. Yeah. Yep, my mom and dad went there too, and so did I. They have a great program in psychology and medical science, which is where what interests me lies, I said. I hope you do find a cure someday, said George. Me too, said Sam. I hope so too, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. What could happen sooner? Just wondering, asked Sam as a joke. Getting a sister-in-law, I answered with an extremely large grin on my face. We heard about your girlfriend. We had our ears on the wall listening to the conversation the whole time, said Sam. Nice, I said jokingly. George was cracking up. What's so funny, George? What do you think, if I pressed my ear on the window? George asked, chuckling. You learned another bad word, I said with a smile. George nodded. Does it start with an F? I asked. George nodded again. Don't repeat that word. I won't, but what does it mean? Asked George. I'll tell you when you get older. Why? George asked. We've been over this. Oh yeah, said George. We then played in our rooms for a while, and then our mom came to our door. Time for Sam's birthday dinner. Time for Sam's birthday dinner, my mom said when she opened the door. I then put my cloak on, and as I got dressed into my new and true public form. What do you think of my new cloak and cane? I asked. Looks pretty good, said Sam. I didn't know it was new, said George. Where did you get it? At the store in Chinatown where I met my girlfriend yesterday. I answered. What was her name again? Sam asked. Hannah, I said. From what you told us about her, she sounds nice, George said. Yeah, she is, I said. One thing was for sure as I was leaving Robbinsog-The to go to the Rainforest Cafe dinner. Doctor Marcacius is here to stay.